My 38 meters daughter, 16F, lives with me full time. I got married last year to my now wife Suze, 35F. We dated for 5 years, but she always clashed with Anna because of their personalities. Anna is a good kid, responsible, kind and helps around, but she's overall an introvert who doesn't like to be around people that much and enjoys her time alone in her room, while Suze is the opposite. She loves socializing, doing stuff with the people she loves, etc. She always invites Anna to help her cook/bake, do some gardening etc. since they're both at home most of the time, but Anna always says no. Suze has ADHD. Anna is always telling Suze off because she thinks she overwhelms her with her constant need to be around her. Because Suze tends to knock at her door too much, she sometimes barges, and she feels she forces her to spend time together. Because if Anna is on the living room, the kitchen or the garden reading, Suze just sits next to her and starts to talk and then gets sad because she doesn't like to be around her. We've attended family therapy and Anna is doing her solo sessions. I've also talked to Suze that Anna's privacy and solo time should be respected, but I don't think is a good thing. That Anna refuses any kind of contact with Suze, and I don't think she's even trying at all. Anna has explained to me that being around Suze tires her quicker than any other person because she knows my wife wishes she were more expressive/talkative and makes her uncomfortable. Yesterday I came home early and I overheard Anna yelling at Suze to get out of her room. I went to see what was happening and Anna was pushing Suze out. She said that Suze just knocked and let herself in like she always does. While she was getting dressed, Suze was apologizing and saying that she forgot the rule, but Anna said she's tired and that dealing with Suze is worse than dealing with a small kid. This made Suze cry, and I said that it wasn't nice of her, and I grounded her with a week with no phone. She's not talking to me right now, and I wonder if it was wrong, because she has never given me the cold shoulder. Stop letting your wife harass your daughter and get her a lock for her room. She's allowed to set boundaries, and letting your wife walk all over them sucks. Harass is the perfect word for this situation. Op moved in his wife and now his daughter can't even change without this woman that she doesn't even like walking and whenever she pleases. His daughter deserves to feel safe in her own home, and he's failing to protect her. Your wife appears to be incredibly needy and incredibly intrusive. It sounds like your daughter has done her best to be tolerant, to accept that your wife is your wife, and to not be rude or hateful. All she's asking for is her privacy and her right to be introverted. Your adult wife can't remember the rules, that is can't remember to treat your daughter with respect for her social needs, and you've punished your daughter for it. It's also not a strange or complex rule to wait for a reply after knocking. It's strange she struggles to remember it. This sounds horrible. I used to have really long baths when I was a teen. My family joked about it. They didn't realize it was because it was the only room with a lock. I'd just sit next to the bath and read or chill out once I was clean. It was the only way I got personal space. You have a chance to do better for your daughter. Take it. Info. Who's allowed to walk in on your daughter while she's naked? Because that's what happened. Your wife has so little respect for your daughter that she burst into her room while she was dressing. And your daughter was understandably pissed about this. And you punished her for being angry that someone came into her room while she was naked and vulnerable. Does that make you feel like a good father? Exactly. Great lesson you're teaching your daughter Opus. That she should be polite to people who don't respect her boundaries. You are very wrong. Suze doesn't respect Anna's privacy at all. Who forgets that you don't just open someone's door? That isn't even a rule, it's common courtesy and respectful. Suze and you are the ones at fault here. You both owe Anna an apology for grounding her and treating her the way you do. Exactly. I have ADHD and a big social battery and my partner is an introvert, and when he needs his alone time I have other things to do so that he doesn't feel like I'm suffocating him and he can recharge. It sounds like the wife doesn't realize that mental health/illness is the responsibility of the person with the mental illness and not others. How about your wife gets to know your daughter as she is, not who she wants her to be? Vastly underrated comment. I'd upvote this 1000x if I could. Iter. Your daughter has clearly expressed her boundaries in regards to your wife. There is no excuse for a 35-year-old woman to forget constantly. Your wife does not care to respect your daughter's boundaries. And, frankly, you're not looking out for your kid in this situation. It is very reasonable for someone to snap when their requests have been dismissed for 5 years. Have a talk with your wife. Apologize to your daughter and get her a lock for her door. The daughter is the most emotionally mature person in this household. Iter. It seems like your daughter has done everything she could to express to you that she needs space from Suze. Suze continues to violate that space requirement, and it sounds like your daughter has lost all patience for it. The person you should have been angry at is Suze. She needs to understand your daughter's personality and adjust accordingly. Trying to force your daughter to spend time with her is only going to make it worse. Agreed, Iter. Suze stomping her boundaries and you not allowing her to process correctly, shutting off her support network, and telling her she's in the wrong by punishing her, will F*** her up later in life. You say Anna is already in counseling, right? What about Suze? She clearly needs it. If she can't accept the personality of her partner's child, she genuinely will cause her to feel other than, and you as the father need to protect Anna from her. Suze is not parenting material. So, your wife crossed boundaries, sounds like several times, and you're punishing your daughter for that. Am I reading this correctly? Iter. Suze sounds exhausting. Iter. Your wife, who has only been living with you a year, barged in on your teen daughter in a state of undress. That's embarrassing and stressful. Suze is an adult, and it is her responsibility to remember to knock before going into Anna's room. It's a huge adjustment to have a step-parent move in when one is a teen, and it's more important than ever for everyone to respect each other's boundaries. Suze has been walking all over Anna's boundaries. No wonder Anna would rather not interact with her. It's not even just remembering to knock, it's remembering to knock and then waiting for permission to enter. So you're teaching your daughter that if someone doesn't respect her boundaries and she speaks out, she is going to get punished. Your wife walked in on her naked and didn't walk away. Iter. The fact she didn't walk away kinda creeps me out. She should have instantly left when she realized her stepdaughter was changing, but instead the stepdaughter had to push her out. Iter. Clearly your wife's actions are upsetting to your daughter. She has tried expressing that to you, and yet your wife continues to cause distress. I wouldn't want to be around someone who makes me uncomfortable because they seem to want me to be different than I am. You seem not at all concerned about how this is affecting your daughter. You acknowledge that her solo time should be respected, yet do nothing when your wife completely disregards this. Perhaps if she gave your daughter some space and privacy and embraced her as she is and gave her some time to potentially open up more, things would be better. But she seems completely unable to do this. A 35-year woman forgetting that she shouldn't just let herself into your daughter's room as she wishes? Ridiculous. Your wife is acting like a child, and I'd imagine your daughter feels a bit betrayed by you continuing your relationship with her when she makes her so uncomfortable. Your daughter was correct and in no way deserves to be grounded for this. Iter. You grounded your daughter because your wife doesn't know how to respect her boundaries. She's 35, not a toddler. I wouldn't be surprised if your daughter decides to go no contact when they turn 18, if you're going to keep allowing this. Iter. Coming from an introvert, Suze can backwrite the F*** off. We don't want constant socializing. Then coming right in is an invasion of privacy for that very reason. Reading a book is a clear sign someone doesn't want a conversation. I'm mostly introverted, and I've met people I like, but didn't want to hang out with for long periods of time because they were so high energy it made me exhausted. Definitely Iter for both parents here. Iter and Suze sounds needy and exhausting to be around. Suze walked in on Anna while Anna was getting dressed. She knocked but then barged in without Anna saying that was okay. That's a huge violation of normal privacy. Not only that, but per your account, Anna has been trying to assert her boundaries for years and Suze just keeps steamrolling her. I get that grounding your wife isn't a thing, but if anyone needs to be grounded and made to change her ways, it's your wife, not your daughter. An apology is meaningless unless the offender actually changes her behavior. Enjoy these last few years spending time with your daughter, because once she's 18 and gets a job or leaves for college, she'll move out of your house and not look back. I'm tired of Susie just from reading about her. Good lord, I don't ever want to be in the same house as her for months on end. Introverts do get drained by people. Your spouse is walking into your child's room without permission. This has happened before. Your child was not fully dressed. You think nothing of it because you trust your spouse, but would you feel the same if your spouse was a man? I just find this so disturbing. Forcing Anna just does the opposite. She's going to therapy. That's making an effort. Leave her alone to make her own decisions about your so, and respect her boundaries. Introvert or not, Susie's still in the wrong. I agree about the make spouse point too. Massively. Suze failed to respect Anna's privacy, and when Anna justifiably got upset about Suze walking in on her while she wasn't fully dressed, you punished *ANNA*. I'm an introvert too, and I can tell you that the only way for Suze to build a good relationship with Anna is to stop forcing herself on Anna. Suze needs to respect the fact that Anna is her own person and she has a right to have some boundaries. Suze needs to stop violating Anna's privacy and give her some space. You also need to respect Anna's needs. She needs you to stand up for her, or you're going to alternate her. Anna is giving you the cold shoulder because you and your wife are trying to force her to change her personality. She's an introvert and extroverts like Suze are absolutely fucking exhausting for introverts. Anna's bedroom is her safe space and Suze just barges into it whenever she wants to. I don't blame Anna at all. Why is your wife using your daughter for her social needs? Tell your wife to get friends her own age who can meet her social needs. Your daughter isn't the one causing trouble. She isn't creating chaos in the house. She is quietly living her own life. She is 16. This is the kind of crap that leads to your daughter going NC or LC once she moves out. I'm like your daughter and my partner is a social butterfly. When I have reached my social limit, you know what he does? He goes out with his friends. Or if he does want to spend time with me, we put on a movie and sit quietly. It honestly sounds like your wife is using your daughter cause she can't make friends. You are not only encouraging this, but punishing your daughter for not wanting to play along. Your wife is systematically crossing your daughter's boundaries and trying to force a relationship that Anna doesn't want. Suze needs to back the F*** off, and Anna shouldn't be punished for your wife's bad behavior. As an introvert myself, as an adult, I will leave a group of my friends and relatives to seek out some quiet. I'm a 49-year man who at times finds peace in a dark bathroom just to let my body cope with the stress of people. I would have pushed her out of the room too. Buy an exterior lock set for Anna's door and cancel that grounding. Also, let your wife know that if the door is locked, it means she either failed to knock or didn't accept that it was a bad time and failed to respect privacy. Your wife should never know if the door is locked because she should never try the knob. Why hello, male version of myself. Absolutely As another introvert, I would go stark raving batshit crazy if someone kept barging into my room all the time like that. Many years ago, my baby Bill lived with us for a while he was at uni. I love that man to death, but he needs to have action and noise and people around him all the time, and OMG it was so exhausting. And I'm not a teenage girl awash with hormones and learning to live with another person in my dad's life. 1,000,000%. It's not up to your daughter, a child, to moderate herself for the feelings of an adult, your wife, when that adult has committed to not respecting her boundaries. Your wife needs to calm the F*** down and give this poor kid some space. Your kid has been extremely clear about her boundaries and neither Suze getting her feelings hurt because her boundary stomping isn't appreciated is her problem. Your daughter's using ruder words because no one is listening when she's polite. This is you and Suze's fault. Suze needs to learn to respect Anna's boundaries. I get that she seems to be trying to connect with Anna, but that connection will not come through ignoring Anna's needs and the difficult position Anna is in. Having a new stepmom is a big change and the fact that Anna needs time to adjust should be respected. Furthermore, who wouldn't freak out if someone barged into their room while they were changing? Sus needs to understand that she is living with a teenager and teens need privacy. Sus sounds absolutely exhausting. I'm tired just from reading about her. Sus is a grown adult. She should be able to use some basic manners and common sense. Anna, Sus, please don't come into my space. Sus, knock, knock, I'm coming in. Anna, I said no. Sus, barges in. Anna, tries to push Sus out. Anna, Sus is worse than a toddler. Sus, boo-hoo. Dad, Anna, you're grounded. Yeah, this is no good. Ita. 100%. And using ADHD as the reason? I'm calling BS. I was finally diagnosed with severe ADHD at 36 years old, and I wouldn't dream of being up somebody's like Sus's. Op is trying to justify Sus's behavior, but ad taint it. Sus sounds exhausting and immature. Ita for choosing your wife's feelings over your daughter's feelings. I feel so bad for Anna. She must have to walk on eggshells and deal with smothering Sus all day and night. Ita. Anna's set a boundary and neither you nor Sus seem to be getting the idea. Neither of you can force a relationship between SD and SM. It either happens or it doesn't. But if the former happens, it's because you let things take their natural course and not try to shove things down a person's throat. Which is exactly what Sus is doing by constantly invading Anna's space and ignoring the clear message of get lost. Ita. Sus needs to find friends and leave your daughter alone. You cannot force a relationship. It has to happen organically. If it doesn't work then it doesn't. Get over it. As long as they're coexisting and respecting each other's boundaries, that's all that matters. And who the heck just enters a teenage girl's room without knocking? You're telling me a grown woman forgot the rules? Please get real. Honestly, maybe if she formed adult relationships she'd get her talking outlet out instead of putting it on a teenager. Ita. Your daughter is giving clear boundaries to your wife, which she keeps breaking. She's reached the end of her tether and you punish her? Tell your wife to back off your daughter and give the space she needs.